The live stream will begin shortly. Thanks for joining us. This webinar is part of a Digital Missionary Life series organized by Trinity Adventist International Church in Bangkok, Thailand. It is sponsored by community7.org. We are live every Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Bangkok time. Visit bangkokadventist.com for more details. Please stand by and share this video. The live stream will start shortly.
Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew and cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord. Take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and renew a right spirit within me. And cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord. Take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and renew a right spirit within me. And renew a right spirit within me. And renew a right spirit within me.
Our weekly Digital Missionary Life webinar is sponsored by Community7.org. C7 provides sustainable online platforms and management structures to generate technical and financial resources for the evangelistic work in Thailand. We invite you to learn more about Community7 at Community7.org. Again, thanks for joining us today. The live stream will begin shortly.
Father, I have knowledge, so will you show me now how to use it wisely and find a way somehow to make the world I live in a little better place and make life with its problems a little bit easier to face. Grant me faith and courage and put purpose in my days, and show me how to serve Thee in effective ways, so my education, my knowledge, and my skill may find their true fulfillment as I learn to do Thy will. And may I ever be aware in everything I do that knowledge comes from learning and wisdom comes from You. Amen.
How to show them how to do.
Hello, pleasant good evening and good morning for some of you that are watching online as well on the different platforms. Thank you so much for being here, and Especially, I want to thank those of you that are with us on our Zoom call. Here on Zoom, we have a few of our pastors from different regions here in Asia that they come together, and we are part of the conversation that we have every week about digital missionaries, how to become a digital missionary, how to do evangelism online. And we are here together every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And I thank you all for being here. Today, we are talking about how to reach the unreached. So I hope that we all have a good time this afternoon and we can learn something, we can talk about this together. I want to thank especially, I have my screen here on this side, and I have a few pastors, good friends that are from Thailand and from Malaysia as well. We have Pastor Wilder, who has been joining us for a few weeks already. So thank you so much, Pastor Wilder, for being here with us. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. The same thing with Pastor Charmin, I think is a pastor from Risdak. And thank you also for Pastor Masilung. I'm not sure if I pronounced your name correctly, Pastor. But thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Please feel free to open your cameras and open your microphones and share a little bit about your experience and how we can make this work a little bit better as well. If you are on a different platforms, on YouTube, we are live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. So please feel free to comment there on the comment section, and we'll be able to also follow through your questions. But if you really want to be part of the conversation, I invite you to join us here on Zoom. Again, today we're going to talk about how to reach the unreached. And as we open this discussion tonight, I want to invite the Holy Spirit to be with us. So let's pray. Dear Lord God, thank you, Lord, for today. Thank you for being with us. And I ask that you might be in each of our hearts, in each of our homes, where we are, and that you might help us, Lord, to understand and to share what you have put in our hearts to do and do for you, Lord. I pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us here today. And for those that maybe don't know me, I am Pablo Rios. I have been an online missionary for the past 2 years. I work for over 12 years with the church in different capacities. I work in 4 different continents, and I landed here in Thailand in 2013, working for our university here. And then God called me, give me the opportunity to take some years off to be able to work for him and experience what it means to be an online digital missionary. So every Tuesday when we come together, I share a little bit about my experience, what it has been for me, what I have learned, my struggles, my difficulties, and some of the victories, so we can learn together. And then we have some pastors and some of you that join us every week and also are part of this conversation, and we can all continue to grow from each other's perspectives and each other's experiences. But with that, I want to start the conversation tonight asking the question, how do we define unreached? Who are those that are unreached? Because you might say, well, today, because of the internet, everyone has been reached in some way or capacity, possibly, because they all have access to the internet. The gospel is right there for everyone on the palm of their hand. They just need to do the right search. And they can see the doctrines, they can see everything that we teach, they can see the truth. They are right there in their devices. So who then is unreached? If everyone have access to the information, then who are the unreached? Those that don't have internet? Those that don't have connectivity? Well, for this discussion tonight, I want for us to focus on those that are unreached, thinking about the individuals that do not know about Jesus, do not know about God, have not had an experience with God. They, of course, might have heard about Christ. They might have knowledge about Christianity because of the connectivity that they are. And those that are unreached for us, because we are online missionaries, are those that are connected to the internet, but at the same time, they have limited knowledge of Christianity, of the gospel, and have not come in contact with our beliefs necessarily, or have not expressed have not studied in a deeper form what Christianity really means, or what the message of salvation really is about. And we'll discuss this throughout the night. So that is the background that I want to set up for our discussion. Now, tonight I would like to address this with that background. I'll address it in 3 different angles. Okay, so think about the background. Individuals, that is, in business we might say that's our segment group. So our segment are people that are digitally connected, that are online. They might be in social media or different services, but they are accessing online information on a regular basis. They are individuals that are, because they are connected, they have some level of education. They know how to read, they know how to write in their own language, or possibly maybe more than one language. And they have some understanding of what Christianity is, but they have never had that intention of really searching more for it or really knowing more about it. They are okay where they are. They are unreached. They haven't been reached by the message, the gospel of salvation. So they might be a little bit aware of what Christianity is, or that it exists, because they are educated, but they have not been reached. They have not understanding or deeper knowledge about our gospel and about the experience with God, with Christ. So that is our segment of your mind, the individuals that we are targeting. And based on that target, on this background, now I want to divide it into the 3 areas. And how do we reach them? One, I would like to look at it from the business perspective. So if we look from a business perspective, we might say, okay, these are our target customers, our segment market. If you have studied anything of business, these are our segment market, and those are potential clients, and we will try to bring them to our funnel. That it is how to bring them into the knowledge and experience with Christ. And the second part will be, or the second area that we can discuss, is from the area of spiritual knowledge. It is how much information do they have about the gospel, how much they know about it. So if I were to test them about key areas of information on the gospel, will they be able to answer those questions? So that is a theoretical knowledge, academic knowledge about the gospel. And the third one would be experiential. What is their experience with Christianity? What is the experience with God? What is their connection to our church? The social, spiritual, and personal connection that they will develop. So those are the 3 pillars that we will discuss on the background of our specific segment that we have tonight. So if you understand me, everybody, if you are on the chat or on any platform, just give me the thumbs up if you are okay with that. You understand that. Let me see. I'm checking here the different chats and on Zoom as well. Ben, thank you so much, Pastor Wilder. So we are together on this. Great. So we have this information here. So you just have some more people joining us here online and on Zoom. So that is the background. I just want to give one more recap here to my friend. I want to welcome to our Zoom call. I have a good friend here, Robin Ramrup. He's joining us from the Philippines. He's a very old friend. It's been a while since we connected before. So I want to welcome him to our Zoom call. I have been inviting him to come and join us. So after so many weeks of trying to him to come, he's finally here with us. Thank you so much, Robin, for joining us tonight. And I was just sharing with everyone, with those of you that are just joining us as well on YouTube, on Facebook, or Instagram. I was just saying that our discussion tonight, there on your chat where you are, is based on the background of our target market, our unreached is categorized as those individuals that are connected online, that have some knowledge about Christianity but not deep information about it. They don't have the need or the desire for knowing more about it. They are somewhat educated and they are well connected on the internet, and they use it in a regular basis. And we're going to discuss tonight on 3 paradigms or 3 channels. One is the business aspect of it. How do we reach that target market and bring them through the funnel to a point where they will become our clients or buy into our product, you might. The second one, it is about their knowledge of Christianity. If I were to test them about the understanding or their knowledge of our doctrines or what we believe, what will they answer? Will they know what they're talking about? How much do they know about Christianity? And the third one will be the spiritual, the relational aspect of their connection, whether they have a spiritual connection, a relationship with God, or a relationship in the social aspect, the integration into a Christian environment. So with that, let us start the discussion. And those that are with me on Zoom, please feel free to raise your hand or just put your video on, your mic on, and I will give you the floor if you have something to add. I would love to hear from you what have been your experience in your culture, in your environment. So let's start with the first one, the business side of it. Now, on the business side, if I want to reach a segment of the market, then I see what are the specific characteristics of that segment. So where they are, where they spend their time, where they spend their money, how they spend their money, and what they like doing, and what are the normal characteristics of the day-to-day for them. So I look at those specific actions and I see how I can reach them with a message that they can connect with my product, or a message that will give them an urgency or the need. They see that how my product will fulfill their need and give them the urgency to know more about it. That is the whole marketing structure. So anybody that study marketing, you're going to study 4 years of how to do this, how to reach those customers and get them through the funnel or through the channels, so they can see the need that they have for your product and how it is important for them. Create urgency, and all the ads that we see online, they try to fulfill that in each one of us. And that's also why online is such an important area for business, because online, when I look at different products, at different platforms, at different social media channels, or different websites, I am pretty much dividing or segmenting my market. So for example, if I want to reach a younger group, for example, let's say 25 and under, and that age group still growing every time, I will say, okay, I'll find these people right now in TikTok. I'll find these people in websites that talk about news, sorry, not news, not that young. They'll talk about maybe sport news, or maybe about websites that are about the movies or things like that, that are more youth oriented. So those are my kind of groups, people that will go to the movies, that will watch movies, that will go out to eat. They will generally get together with the group of friends at least once a week, and they get out and have different conversations and go out and have a good time together. That will be my target audience. So I say, okay, well, if I want to reach them, if I want to reach the individuals in that target group and age, then I have to advertise maybe in a restaurant. Maybe I have to advertise on a pub or a club. Maybe I have to advertise on TV series or in TV programs that are catered for more a younger audience. So looking at it from the marketing perspective, that's how I will approach it, and we'll see where I can connect with them. They can know about my product, and how I can making them the urgency of finding the solution that I am presenting. So now my question to you that are online, and to those of us here on Zoom, how have you experienced this in your ministry? Have you experienced this before? Have you seen or look at this part of the business side of it? How do we connect with the people that are not rich? Anybody would like to share? You have your questions here on Zoom. Please feel free to unmute yourself. You can show the camera as well and share your experience. How have you ever looked at that from that perspective? What do you think about it? Let me check and see if we have any comments as well on our online platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Let me just check and see here. Okay, on Zoom, pastors, any of you would like to share your experience? Okay, so perfect. Okay, then the idea is that we can do this on purpose. It's a purposeful plan to try to reach them, to try to see where they are. So I was reading a book, and I will reference this article, not a book, an article. I will reference this article throughout my presentation. It's one of the articles that I like and really made a difference in my ministry. It's called Making Disciples in Buddhist Asia, and it's written by Gregory Whitesett. And you can just Google it. Gregory Whitesett. He was one of the directors for Eastern Religion for the General Conference, and he was here based in Bangkok before. And he wrote this wonderful article about how to reach the Buddhists. And he talked about how we connect with them on a different level. How we are talking about different perspectives of life. And he references there is like people that like different sports. So for example, I am a football guy, a soccer guy. I'm from Latin America and I like football. I like Luis Suarez. I'm from Uruguay, so you don't know. So I like Luis Suarez, Cavani, and I like soccer. I follow Atletico de Madrid, and I am into that team, and I know how football works. And I can sit down in front of a computer and watch a soccer game for 2 hours or maybe 4 hours straight and enjoy that. I know how it works. But he's saying, I like that. What about if my friend doesn't like football, doesn't understand football, but he understands golf? So, for example, I have a friend that likes golf, and maybe some of you know him, Pastor Burson. He loves golf. So he loves to play golf. So how can I relate with somebody that likes to play golf and with me that I like to see football? I don't like golf. I don't understand golf. It's a complete different sport for me. So the question is, how can we communicate? How can I show him how beautiful the sport of football is? Because for a person that loves golf, football looks as an insane sport where you have 11 people running behind a ball, and they are pretty much set on a time frame that they need to score the most amount of goals and try to defend themselves from the attacks of the enemy. Whether in golf, don't have anything like that. I just take care of myself. I just make sure that I do the right thing, and it's not about how many balls I put in, but rather how little strokes I can do or before I get into the hole. And the hole is not the end goal. The end goal is how I play the game. So it's very different. So it's the same thing I feel with online evangelism. We are presenting our ministry, our message in the way that we understand it. We are excited about our message, our gospel, about the football game, and we are excited about it. I remember I was in the Caribbean, a place where they didn't play much football at the time, and they had an international match between Argentina and Uruguay under 17 game. And there were a bunch of us friends from Argentina, from Uruguay, and we went to the stadium and we were chanting things about football, and we were shouting and screaming and supporting our teams. One of my friends took out the shirt and started like waving the shirt, and everybody around was like shocked. In their culture, they don't do that. In their culture, that is not acceptable. You have to be quiet. Just enjoy the game. Just look at it. And everybody was saying like, please sit down, and quiet. It's like, what are you gonna listen to? They're not saying anything. You have to watch. It's part of the game. At the same time, I went once to a game of cricket, and they were dancing and playing and singing and everything. They were not even watching the game, and they were having a good time. And I didn't understand the game, so I wanted to try to learn it. I was trying to look and observe because I didn't understand the game. I wasn't taking attention of what was happening on the stands. So it is a complete different perspective. And the thing for me is that sometimes I feel that we do the same thing with our online ministries. We are passionate about spreading the gospel and don't spend a little bit of time to look at our target audience, to see what they are doing, what they are saying, how do they behave, and how do they act, and what do they expect, so we can share that passion, but maybe in a way that they will understand. So let me see if Pastor is here in Zoom. Thank you, Pastor Tony, for joining us here. Pastor Tony Dumaya, thank you so much for being here with us. I would like to hear your experiences. What do you think about this? What have been your experience on social media or online ministry? Have you ever looked at this from that kind of perspective, from marketing perspective, and see how we are reaching that target audience? What can we do to reach those people that have not yet heard about the gospel? Please feel free to mute yourselves, or if you are on Facebook or Instagram, please share your experiences. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I hope that you can join us in the discussion, and really, because really and truly, what we're saying here is that E.G. White said that we have to be purposeful in our evangelism effort. Evangelism is about doing something on purpose and communicating a message and trying to see how we can reach the people that are in need and communicate with them better. Yes, Robin, please go ahead. Can you share your experience? You can just unmute yourself and put your video on if you want to share. Oh, okay, sure. Yes, audio is fine, no problem.
As before. You haven't aged yet. What's your secret? When concerning the marketing stuff, I would like to, I don't know, it's maybe more, I don't know if it's a question or form or what, but I think one of the things we need to do is, especially in the Buddhist culture, I think they outdo us in terms of kindness and the way they treat each other. Mm-hmm. You know, as Christians, I think sometimes we find Buddhists that are more Christian than us. And when you look at our social media, many of us as Adventists, we use it sometimes to rant and rave or complain about stuff, you know. And for me, I think that's one of the things that doesn't market Christianity properly. When we go on social media and we just complain about stuff or complain about our neighbor or school, or, you know, we post things that shouldn't actually be there, you know. And it's actually very discouraging when you post these things and then somebody else come with a message, you know, of hope or something, or you yourself might want to post a message of hope later on. It contradicts itself, no? So I'm suggesting that if we can get our own messages on our wall or whatever, to be more positive and more, you know, down to earth and more humble, rather than complaining and venting out or calling out things that, you know, might compromise our ministry. So that's just something I just want to briefly share.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Robin. It's really that's something that is really important, and I think it's a very good point. And I myself put myself in a position where I was able to experience that and got a big shake of reality. I remember some time ago, I was I had ordered something online to send to my family, to family of my wife in Venezuela, and the item was not reaching. It was 2 or 3 weeks. I was trying to contact the company, and they had no information about the shipping. It's like everything got lost, and I couldn't get any information on it. And I went on their social media site, and I said, well, this is my last resort. I cannot connect with them anywhere. And I left a few messages on their post, responding to other people. Like, how do you know these people are not connecting with me, are not talking? The customer service is very bad. I don't recommend this. I have been 2 weeks trying to connect with them, and I don't know where my package is. Maybe it's disappeared. I feel this might be a scam. And after a few minutes, actually, I got a DM, direct message from the company, and they said, "Oh, sir, sorry, this is we normally take 2 weeks to really ship the goods, and they should be there soon. We don't like the way that you talk on our social media, saying that we are not serious about it, and really." They were, and he mentioned, I'm really disappointed to see your comments on our page, because I went to your page and I noticed that you are such a Christian person, a spiritual person, and I feel that you should have given us a little bit more a benefit of the doubt, and be more kind, because the words I would share online have an impact on other people. And I was like, wow, I have to be careful even how I comment on other people's pages, and how I communicate with other businesses. So even when I have a complaint online, how do I present myself as a Christian? And this was with a company that was not Buddhist. It's a Christian company as well, or from a Western side. Yeah, definitely. I think that that is a very, very important side, and we see it regularly. I said, I remember here in Thailand, sometimes when we talk with people that are not Buddhist or other religions, they have sometimes a bad impression of what Christianity is. I remember when I was working at the university, some of the parents, they said, we don't want to send our kids to Christian schools, because when kids go to Christian schools, they forget about their families. They go and they don't honor the families as they should. In Buddhism, people have to respect their families, and they have to go back home and be part and contribute to the family, to the elders, and to the community, and respect that. And they say, when we have noticed that when people go to Christian schools, they want to go somewhere else, they want to serve other people, and they forget about their family, or they forget about the roots. And that was a tough question. And I don't know if my friends there in Malaysia, I think we have some Muslims as well there. I don't know if you guys have had any experience with this kind of thing. Yes, Pastor Wilder.
Yeah, I'm interesting topic about what we are discussing tonight. For sure that it's a very different place here in Malaysia, especially. For example, that social media is just been started, especially in Sabah, when posted and ministered in one of the places in Sabah. It's a very what I mean is that we're just starting doing this ministry in social media. For example, I like the terms that Buddhists are more Christian than us, but I think that some of us also think that there are more people, and I think some people that are more Adventist than us. And that when we are doing this marketing about media, for example, that for me is that I'm a bit shy doing something in front of any social media. How what I mean is that how can I try to get the confidence to talk in front of any social media, because what I was thinking about is that when I'm doing this marketing and when I'm telling someone, I mean, doing some ministry on the social media, and then I'm afraid that someone who knew me before, this kid is have bad attitude before, and then this maybe this guy is like what you say, has been doing some past mistakes or everything. So how can I like get the confidence on doing them such marketing in a ministry in social media?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Pastor. That's a big question, and it goes as well with what Robin was saying, that it it is important for us to understand where we are at. And for me personally, I it was difficult for me maybe 2 years ago. I also went through some difficult time personally, and it was very challenging. I really felt that I had no voice. I had no place to talk to anybody about God, and not that I was shy, but it was really difficult for me to relate, to feel that I can relate to other people. And I discovered that on our weakest part is when we are stronger, or where I might say when God is stronger. Because when I accept my weakness or my struggles, my difficulties, is where people can connect with me. And I felt through my challenges, I felt that I was able to connect with people that otherwise I would have not been able to reach. So for me, I discovered the way of reaching out to people that experience that kind of challenges. And I'd say, okay, look, where do I find them? Where do I find people that have gone through this experience, so I can relate to them, so they can see these problems and how they're not alone. They can get out of there. They can be better. So I discovered that way, and I, in looking for that, then I discovered what social media they use, or where do they find them, or how to find them, because it was challenging. You don't want, as a pastor, to be putting outside there on the world, look, I had a problem with this, I had an issue with this when I was younger, I did this and I did that. You don't have to put all your truth out there in the world for everybody to see, because not everybody can understand the power of God. But at the same time, when you find the people that are going through those challenges, you don't want to be quiet. You want to say, look, I know where you are. I know the challenges you're going through. I know you're struggling with self-control, or with problems with your attitude, or how you relate to people. I've been there. I've done that, and this is what helped me. And I feel that is a very powerful thing, and that's the power of the internet, because today we don't need to cast a big net to be able to catch fish, and then after we catch the fish, then we separate them. No, now because of the internet, we can actually devise a net that we can throw out and can only catch specific individuals, specific people with specific characteristics. So if you say, look, for example, I have many friends that had problems with drugs, and they say, okay, look, if you went through that challenge, you don't have to tell the world that you were a drug addict. But at the same time, you cast a net, and you see what kind of topics the individuals that are trying to come out of drugs will look for. So have a blog, for example. You don't have to be on camera, you don't have to share. Maybe just copy and paste articles, and as we spoke a couple of weeks ago, don't just copy and paste, always put the reference and assume what they're doing. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You can just have videos of other people with Creative Commons, or people that you can reach out and say, can I use your video? And you can just post that video and maybe just react to it and share. So you don't have to share your experience, but you can cast a net that you know that individuals struggling to come out, that want to come out of drug addiction, for example, you know that they're looking for that kind of material. You know they are looking for that kind of content. So you cast the net, and they will approach you and they will say, hey, I can relate to your content. And you can then on private message, or send them into a mailing list, get the email address so you can send them emails. You get a more personal connection with them. Or as we're doing here tonight, just create a Zoom account and tell them, look, every Tuesday or every Wednesday, I'm going to be on Zoom and I'm just going to be sharing my experience, or I'm going to be sharing information about how to manage anger. So you just open your Zoom and just promote it and said every Tuesday or every Wednesday we're going to have, not Tuesday because Tuesday we have this call, so you have to keep coming to this call, but every Wednesday or every Thursday you can come to my Zoom and we'll talk about anger management, or we'll talk about marital problems, or we'll talk about drug addiction. So you get that net, you cast that net, and then people will start coming. It might take a while, but consistency over time. You continue to try, you continue to do it slowly but surely. You know the target that you are having, and that's what the disciples did. They went out all night. They tried to catch fish. They worked all night and they couldn't catch one fish. They were using the right nets. They were using the right tools and everything they knew about fishing, but they couldn't fish. But because they went through all night, the moment came when Jesus said, okay, now is the right time. Throw it again. And in one catch, in one try, they got all the views, all the baptisms. You will get everything. So your social media account or your Zoom account or your blog or your mailing list might be small for a while, but in one moment, God can tell you one more time, and you will cast your net, and then they will come. You will catch in abundance because you have been consistent. You have been there and you know how to do it, and God knows when you are ready to catch those fish. I hope that helps, Pastor. That has been my
Thanks.
experience. Yeah, and yeah. So thank you so much. But let's do the second part, Pastor, because I think that when we look at reaching them in the marketing way is one part, but then when we try to see now how much do they know about salvation, then that's a different question, because I have had experiences in churches where we have a 2-week campaign. We preach every night for 2 weeks, and then we said on the last night, okay, those that want to get baptism, put up your hands, and we play nice music, and we do a nice call to action, and we get 5, 6, 7, 10, sometimes 100 people to baptize. They come in front, we pray for them, we talk to them, we take their names, we go to the board. These people want to baptize. Okay, good, we vote, and we said, do you believe these things? Do we have our list of our beliefs? And they say yes. They might not really understand them. We give them a test, a quiz. Sometimes I know that many of them might not be able to complete the quiz. They might fail their knowledge. So the question is now, how much theory we need to share online to reach the unreached? So we have targeted them. Now the next question, the next area, the next channel will be how much information or how much knowledge they need to have an experience with God. And I don't know if what have been your experience, or what do you think about this? Or anybody have a question in that area or experience, Pastor Wilder or Pastor Tony, Robin, or here, or people online? See? Yes, Pastor, go ahead.
What I've been telling you about that, I've been doing this just recently about this social media ministry, and then for sure about your questions, it's about that. Let me switch on my PowerPoint. I have experience before about this baptizing very young children of us, and then when I disagree about that, and then this all pastors of mine says that you must never neglected anyone who is saying that he or she is ready to be baptized. But afterwards, the work will be pointed to the pastors to do the exact word. And then I'm in social media. I think it's just the same. Even if you are doing ministry on social medias, and then what my experience recently, I've done evangelistic meeting through Zoom. Then I invite some of the pastors from Indonesia, from even from Thailand. When we've done the evangelistic meeting, uh, there's no baptism on my side actually. Even I asked the elders, because some of the preachers from, the pastors from Indonesia asked me if we have a baptism on that last Sabbath, and then I said we don't have any baptism, and it's really discouraged me at first, but after sometimes maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the evangelistic meeting, I I received a text message from somebody who I don't know, who is from Indonesia, and then he asked me if I could I could teach him, give him a Bible study, uh, and then he was baptized about after 3 months. And then at first it is really discouraged to accept that there's nobody on my side, on my district, to be baptized. But eventually, and at the same time, there's a different purpose on that, on social media. I really what it is really interested to say to what you're saying, that we are casting a specific net to specific or to some people or the society. So that's my experience recently about the social media and then doing this evangelistic meeting.
Yeah, no, definitely, because for example, if you always share on your social media, on your website, or on your Zooms, you only share information about Bible study or Bible quotes or doctrinal details, then the people that are looking at it are people that already know about it or that are looking for it, because the only way that you can be found on the different social media side of the internet is that somebody's looking for that specific content, or maybe it's a friend of a friend, somebody that is looking for that content. But if they get to your page and they're not interested in that kind of content, they will just go on with their life. They're not engaged because they don't see the first part that we talk about. They don't see that urgency. They don't see that solution in your content. So I feel that it is a little bit like what Paul says. I planted, Apollo watered it, and then now I get it wrong. Yeah, no, I planted, Apollo reaped. I think that's what it is. But one person can water the seed, and then the other people or other ways, God will find a way for them to grow spiritually or to grow in knowledge. But we need to bring them in first, so they have that kind of connection, and then we bring them the opportunity for them to learn more about Christ. So, for example, I have Adventist friends that they have a gaming channel. Their ministry is playing computer games on Twitch. That is the ministry. They play games on Twitch. What kind of games? I'm not completely sure about what kind of games, but they play games on Twitch. And from their stream, they invite people to join the Zoom discussion about youth, about life, about problems in society. So they use their gaming channel to go and meet them on a private Zoom call where they will discuss life as youth. And when the topics come out, they include the Bible into those discussions. They include a little bit of their own experiences onto that discussions. So the gaming channel is the marketing way for people to see what they are doing, to see where they are, to reach the people where they are, because they're targeting a specific group of individuals. I'm not saying that we should be playing games, but if the Spirit give you that call and you have the spiritual strength and the connection with God to do that, then that's what He's calling you to do. So we have to be very careful with those things, because sometimes I know that I had some difficult conversations with ministries that talk about gays, for example, gay ministries, and I had difficult conversations with gay men and those youth ministries that go onto those areas that are very controversial. So it's a very difficult line, and there have been some experiences that are not very pleasant. So we have to be careful, but not every example is that extreme. We can find other examples where we are at. And yes, I think the truth is that the knowledge that we need to impart on our channel or on our ministry doesn't have to go deeper than what we can connect with our viewers. So we can have a public area where we used to connect with our target market and then bring them into our personal challenges, our personal experiences, and there on a personal basis or a small group basis, then we share the knowledge and share more about the Bible, and God will work in them in time, and the Spirit will work to grow that seed. I'm not sure if I am right. If anybody, somebody else here would like to share, or Pastor Wilder, I don't know if I am making any sense. Or the chat there on different social media accounts. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, Robin, are you putting up your hand? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to just say about this marketing strategy that we have. I think sometimes we don't put enough effort into it. If you look at the business world, even the online world, there's a saying that the package sells the product. And sometimes we do not package the gospel properly. Sometimes you might get a really big, beautiful package and it might just have something small inside, but the person buy the product from the looks of the package or whatever. And then when they open the product, more than likely they might be contented with the product. But I think what also is very nice is when you have a good customer support. Like for example, you have a product, you buy it, and then you have a question about it, then you can call up somebody and find out information. I think that's one of the most amazing thing about any product. If you can call the person about it, because sometimes when we sell a product or when we sell the gospel, we disappear. We baptize people and we leave them hanging there. And there's no customer support. There's no lying 24/7 saying, okay, you can call this number if you're having any problems. And I think that's something we really need to improve on. I think the pastor was talking about how to be confident also. I just want to say that, pastor, you can be confident if as what Pablo said, you be consistent. But I just want to add to that, saying that, sometimes you might throw your net and you may not catch anything for your whole lifetime. Because you look at the life of Noah, Noah preached for 120 years, But are we not benefiting from Noah's message today? Sometimes it's only after you go on, there is somebody that might benefit from your message. So do not discredit your message. Do not discredit. If you have something good, and we Christians, we Adventists, we have a beautiful message. We have a lot of good stuff to share. It's just sometimes we do not package it properly, or sometimes we do not have good customer service, and people falter and they go back, or we might package it really beautiful, and then when people open it up and they see it's a can of worms, because what we share is it's ridiculous. Like, for example, Pablo, you're talking about this gaming thing. If there are certain only people you can bring that around, because there are people who can talk to you about violence and the statistics that shows about what violent games can do to a child and things like that. And then you bring that to them, and then they're turned away from your mission, turned away from your gospel. So we need to know what we package in and how we package in. And I think it's very, very important for us to have a good customer service. If people have a question, we must be available to answer it or to share some more information. And correlate also. If you don't know the answer, there are lots of qualified people that you can contact and make the answer properly known to them. So that's what I just wanted to share.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. And definitely the opportunity for us to share where we are at and share our experience, share where we have been, what it has done to us, and how it does in me. And that is really the message. The message is not about an impersonal God. It's not about about a gospel that is impersonal, that is a theory. We are not presenting a theory or a story or our academic presentation. We are presenting a personal God that have had an impact in my life and how that have transformed my life. And only when we find a way of sharing that passion or that transformation in my life with other people, and through that we love that passion, we have passion for that, is that we can be consistent over time, that we can really form a right angle, and as Robin said, be able to also identify the things that where I need to draw the line. I said how I'm going to present myself, what games do I play, what music do I listen to, what shows do I watch, what books do I read, who I follow on TikTok, who I follow on social media, how much I use social media. All those things are little things that that as we grow, as we mature in Christ, then we really get to experience. And I have, in my personal experience, I have learned that maturity is not a destination, but it is a journey. We are maturing, we are learning. The more I learn, the more I know that I don't know anything, I know nothing. The more I mature, the more I understand that I am not there yet, that I need to continue in my pursuit and really breaking myself and really presenting myself as a broken part for God to fix. So that is really what we're doing. And interesting that Robin, you mentioned that, because it comes to our third part, the third part that I wanted to discuss today. This will be a 2 or 3 part series, so we'll continue to talk about this next week. This is just the introduction part. And the third part is our social interaction, our relationship. So when the first part, we talked about how we marketed, how we reach out to the people. Then how much do we share with them? How much do we teach them? How much do they need to know? The third part is the crucial part that you mentioned, Robin. It is how we connect with people. That customer service is, we cannot just be alone, because if we just rely on ourselves, we have only enough hours in a day, enough things, enough experiences that we can share. But we need to bring those individuals to a community where they can change their worldview. Because really and truly, what we are trying to do here with those that have not been reached is not to change their belief or to change their perspective. We have to change the worldview, because that is the difference with Muslims and with Buddhists and with Hindus. It's not about their beliefs, it's about the worldview. They like golf. Golf is their sport. They do not understand football. We love football and we do not understand golf. For Buddhism, everything is about life. It's about playing it in the proper way so they can make as least mistakes as possible to reach to that hole. But that hole is not the end of the game, because they will continue in life. and their spiritual journey is personal, is for their own. They are only taking care of themselves and themselves only. For us Christians, it's more like football. We depend on each other, and it's not about how much we protect only ourselves, but how much goals we score. So we are about actions, and we have to be working with our friends, with our neighbors, with a group. So we are in a football team, and they don't see our message. They cannot understand our message because their worldview is completely different, and that's also something that Gregory Whitehead talks about. And it is important that we change that worldview. The only way that we change somebody's worldview is looking at their experience. You cannot teach that. You can only show them and let them have that experience, and that happens in a group. So that happens when we have that customer service, when we continue to connect with them, when we have them into a group that will continue to meet with them, maybe into a Facebook group, or maybe into a WhatsApp chain, or a two-line group where they have people that they can identify with, that they continue in that journey, and that they can have that relationship with people. So it's important for us, as we look at our online ministries, that we see also that customer service that Robin was talking about. How do we interact them and bring them into a community where they can have an experience, where they can have a relationship with others, a relationship with God, in order for them to really change that worldview, you know? I don't know if you have any experiences on this, or what have you seen, Pastor Tony, Pastor Wilder, or Robin, anything else you'd like to add? Or hear any messages on social media, on our chat, or our comments? Everyone is very quiet.
Interesting about the customer service, right? When it is really true that we are doing some packaging, and then we are giving someone, and then someone is receiving it. It's just the same when you are doing your ministry, even not on social media. You are presenting the words of God on your life. I quote some quotes from I heard from a seminar last week. It says that focus on Christ, not crisis.
Mhm.
So it is really interesting for us, because when we are doing this social media, we are rushing into it because everyone is doing it. So when we are rushing into it, and when we are doing some giving someone a gift, and then we are rushing on doing it, even when they see or accept it or receive it, and then the package is not very interesting, so it will affect them. So even they are not even if they are not going to open it, it will affect them by any means. So for me, when I'm doing I've been doing morning worship every 5 a.m. in the morning since October last year, and I'm doing it very consistently. I'm inviting everyone to preach, pastors, SI, and then invited the elders and everyone to share short devotions every 5 in the morning. And then what I've experienced is that when I'm doing live on Facebook or on YouTube, someone, I think some of the pastor would like to collaborate with me. So I'm doing the program, then he share my program to others. Then by that we collaborate with some of the pastors especially in Sabah. But the thing is that we are a district pastor. We have another thing to focus on. We are not doing this media ministry on regular basis. We have another job, and then we are doing something else on our ministry. But so if it's possible for us to like suggest to the missions, I mean, to anyone, to for us as a pastor to do this on a regular basis, because we at the moment we are looking at the Hope Media channel to do this part, but sometimes the some of the church members, or I mean some others uh, who knows us, so they are interested in listening to us, not in some other platforms. So any suggestions about that for the missions to really doing this ministry? Yeah.
Yeah, it is tough, and our church, as organized as it is, it there are some misconceptions that sometimes comes to bite us in the wrong way. The difficulty is that I remember when I was growing up, we had big misconception about pastors, that pastors were the only ones that were qualified to really do pastoral care, on to do evangelism. We had a big misconception that everything that had to do with evangelism or with ministry had to be paid by the church, and that the church has limited funds to develop these programs. I had the misconception, the myth, that pastors and administrators and the church officers knew the best way of doing evangelism and reaching people. The truth is that we are living in a world that is connected, and it's not connected with messages. It's not connected with quality. It's not connected with software. It's connected with people. And that's why this is something that we will always have, is the connection with people. Even when we open a book, we don't open a book we want to read because of the content, but because we want to have that relationship with the writer. And when we consume those words, we are really connecting with an individual. We see the writing style. So even in the writing, it is already happening, the connection, the human connection. And that is something that is important for us as those that we have a platform where we can share this information, that each one of us is a missionary. And the online platforms, what they have done to us is decentralize this information and give us the tools that we need to share our experience, our message. It's true that there is a place for everything, and we need pastors to share and to bring light to academic or to theological points of view and beliefs. We need the pastors to have morning devotionals and have Bible studies, because they know more. We have been trained to do that. Robin is also a theology student. I also studied theology, and there's a certain part that comes with that knowledge. But at the same time, people don't want just to connect with a lecturer. They want to connect with an individual. I remember, and I still friends with some of the individuals that we had study groups for in my master's degree or in my bachelor's degree, but I'm not friends with any of my teachers. I might have one or two in my Facebook. So if you are listening there, I'm sorry, but it's true. None of my teachers is my friend. We don't talk regularly, but I talk with the colleagues, the friends that we studied together, that we went and got in trouble together, the ones that we had things in common. Robin and I, we go way back. He's here on the call with us on Zoom. We go way back. We knew each other before we met each other, because he met my wife first. When he was a little boy, my wife said he was very small and chubby. I don't know, but we have a relationship, and that is that personal connection. So Hope Channel and the plans of the church have a place, an important place to play. But the problem is that sometimes because they have an important place to play, we think that that is the only way, and I don't think that any church or any mission believes that in our days. The challenge is that our members are believing that, and they're thinking that that's what they have to do, when all we have to do today is pick up our phone, maybe a $3,000, $50 or $60 phone that we have with a bad camera, or even no camera at all, and just talk to it, and it will go. They have now a number of, one of the things right now that's growing exponentially is the podcast format. So they have like 3 or 4 new apps that came out, I think, that are growing these past 3 months, and that are only voice. You don't need to put your camera on. You can put it on and start talking. That's all you do. And it's growing fast. It's reaching a lot of people. You can just put the voice activation on your phone and you talk to it, and it will type the tweet for you. It will send the message out for you. And our members, we are dismissing this because it's so simple. It's so easy. No. Hope Channel have big TV, big cameras, and big equipment, and they know, they have studied that. Yes, they have their place, but people need to connect with people. We need to have that customer service, that relationship. People need to see me as faulty as they are, to see me that I have overcome the same challenges that they are going through, that I can tell them, look, you are not alone. There is hope. I know right now you feel like there is no solution. You feel that the world is finishing, that there's nothing coming forward. But I've been there, and there is a way out. And this is my experience. And people listen. They connect with you. They know who you are, and they want to know more about you. They want to meet your friends. They want to spend more time with you. They want to sometimes even spend more time knowing about God because of you. So that is online ministry. That's digital evangelism. It is connecting with people. So we need more people to come and open up. Of course, through Hope Channel, for example, we have a number of individuals that are gifted with public speaking, that are gifted with that gift, and they're doing a very good job. But all of us are possible. Pastor Tony here in Thailand, I receive every so often, I receive his messages, his live on Facebook, and often than not, I just click and see what he's talking about, and I have been blessed by some of his messages. And just because in that moment I was traveling on a car, and it so happens that he was live just when I was going there, and I clicked because I had time, and I listened. And God directed that he had an important message for me. That is online ministry. We connect and we serve God, and he will help us because he has given us the tools and the knowledge, the details to try to do these things. And I think I forgot what we were talking about, and I went all the rails. I started talking about everything else. Yeah, I hope that my experience helps. And it helps some of you here on Zoom, as well as those that are listening to us on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram. And I hope that we can share more and have more information. There's a lot to talk about this because the ways that we can do ministry today online, they are plentiful, and there are many ways of doing this. And these are just 3 areas or 3 pathways that we could look at: the marketing side, how are businesses doing it, and what can we learn from there, how much information, how much content, or how much knowledge do we really need to share before God can continue doing the work for us to reach people online, and then who or how we can have a support system, a support group, or people that can serve as that, as Robin said, customer service, or I would say as that connection, spiritual and social connection with the people that are part of it. Yes, and it is really the beginning of something. And next week we're going to continue talking about this and dive in a little bit deeper into specific things that we could do or that we could share with our members or share with those around us that are possible, how we can reach the unreached. Any closing message, something you feel compelled to share for the good of the group, for the good of those that are listening to us? Anyone?
Yeah, we'll continue discussing on this message because especially there's a saying in Sabah. I think I mean in ministry in Sabah, the members is still on the culture side. I mean, it's been a traditions doing a ministry by some of our former pastors, and then they have been teaching the children as well as the same thing. So these traditions, these cultures need to be upgraded. And then I think the best way for us to do this as fast as we can is doing this as a social media, so we can reach others much faster than we are going to do. To meet every single of them. Even if I'm pastoring in this district, and for example, like Pastor Tony doing every morning, every day, he's doing the message. It can connect to other people too. So I think this is a very good topic for us to discuss.
Thank you so much. And definitely, and Pastor, I just want to share something there. That I am very careful with these days. I used to say, yes, we need to do things differently, and I have grown in understanding a little bit more. And today I will say there is a place for the old ways, because the old people will always be with us. So I don't dismiss any ministry, any effort. I try not to dismiss it because I don't know. God can work in incredible ways. So I think we need not to change the way that we do ministry, but I think we need to do more ministry. And if I have a member of my church, or I have a friend that is doing a ministry that I do not know, that I don't relate to, it's okay. As long as they're doing ministry, it's okay. I will try to help and support as much as I can with the understanding that I have. And if God compels me to give some criticism in a way that will help, then I will pray for that and do it. But I'm very careful because I don't feel that we need to change the way that we do ministry. I feel that the message is we need to do more ministry. We need to go ahead. And I love this message that you have there, Pastor Wilder, says, I will go, pets will go. That I feel that it's important because it's not only that I will go, but it's just that sometimes when we are connected, even with a few people, sometimes on different platforms, and say, I not only go, I'm already here. I am here, so I'm doing it. and let's continue to do it. Yeah, thank you so much, Pastor. Pastor Tony, you wanted to share?
Okay, thank you, Pastor, for discussing about the online evangelism, and it's very interesting to discuss this matter, though we have a short time. But I just want to share my observation, especially in the marketing world. I'm sure that every one of us are engaged, most likely on online business, like, for example, Lazada, buying in Lazada, Wish, and some other things. And I think there are trends that can build their business. As I look at Lazada, for example, if you are buying a USB, like you specifically want to buy Kingston 8 gigabyte, and then before buying, you will look at the comments below, testimonies. So I think this is one thing that we are missing in our online ministry. We have a lot of packages, we have a lot of messages, but there are only few testimonies to confirm the message or the package or the product that we are sharing to the people. So most likely we discuss about the customer service, where we can tackle this kind of testimonies, good or bad, because these are the thing that will promote the product. And I think this is missing in our online evangelism. And not only that, as we can see on some of the marketing strategies, it's like they spend too much in the advertisement. Not only that, and then followed by testimonies, a lot of testimonies on YouTube online live stream. And not only testimonies, they will go face to face to the people and actually share that the product is real. And I think this is one thing that we need to balance, like our presenting our product, testimonies to confirm our product, and then we need to go down and meet the people and share the actual product. And I think this is not like hard to do. In spite of the pandemic, we can continue our like evangelism, like the support evangelism, like the giving, mana, and some other activities that we usually do to meet the people and share the real product that we are sharing to the community. So I think this is the only thing that I can share. So the messages that we are sharing, there should be people to confirm and testify that our product or the God that we are presenting is real in our lives.
Yeah, definitely. Pastor, thank you so much. That's a very, very good comment, and I think that maybe I will try to implement that into one of our conversations, our discussions in the coming weeks, because it's important for us to see that. I feel that there is a challenge with some of the cultures that we have created inside the church, where we feel that we're going to church and we have to be perfect. And sometimes I feel that even for myself, that I don't feel confident that I can go in front of the church and give my testimony, because when people hear my testimony, they might look at me differently. They might call the board to look at my case, and I feel that a lot of people feel like that. They don't feel that they can really be transparent. They say, okay, I have this experience with God, but I will keep it to myself because the appearances, and I have to keep this aura of where I am right now. So I think that's an important part to talk about. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you so much, Pastor. Appreciate that. Well, yes, it's true. As the pastor said, our time is limited here, and we'll continue this next week. So I'll invite you. I'll urge you to please invite your friends. If you are on our social media accounts, you can give them the link of our different pages, or you can also, if they want to be part of the conversation here, I invite them to come on our Zoom call every Tuesday at 7:30 Thailand time. It's 8:30 Malaysia time. And we can be in contact. If throughout the week you want to get some questions in, you want a topic that you think that we should discuss, or you have some questions, my social media accounts are on the screen: riospablo.co in Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and my email address as well is there. So we can stay in contact, and we can invite people to join us next Tuesday. We are here every Tuesday at 7:30. And we can talk more about what it means to have an online ministry. So we talk about everything from strategies to personal finance and our personal lives as missionaries. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Those that are on our Zoom call, Pastor Wilder, Mr. Robbie, Pastor Tony, thank you so much for joining us here. And thank you for being part of today's conversation. With that, I want to thank you all for being here, and from my heart to yours, have a good day and a good night. God bless you all, and thank you for joining us.